Hey everybody, this is Cherokee Edwards from Cherokee Edwards Inspires, where we're going to have shows here to talk about life, to talk about what makes your life special, what makes it better, and everybody working together, because together everyone achieves more. Acronym for the word team. Stay tuned and let's get it on. All right, so here's another edition on the Cherokee Edwards Inspires, and I have one of my best friends on here. I know I'm always telling you guys I have great friends, and that's who I surround myself with. So I know you guys are hearing this over and over and over again. But this person here is my girl, and this is Jill Reece. She is a registered nurse, and she's very big into health, wellness, and natural healing. So Jill, thank you for coming on board, and how you doing today?
My pleasure. It's really a pleasure to be here with you and Amelia.
Awesome. Well, when we do interviews, and you and me, we cut it up. We talk almost every day. We can talk for hours,
right?
And we have nothing much else to do at this point in time with this, situation that we have here in the country and around the world. So I guess what we want to do is let's just talk. Let's just try to, educate. I want you to educate. You're the specialist. I want to hear you educate me and the listeners what we could do and how can we, what are your thoughts on this virus right now going on?
Well, it's a really broad question.
I know, right? It's like we got to throw it out there. We just got to start. What do we want to talk about? I might as well start with the obvious.
Well, the first thing is people are going to underreact. They're going to overreact. My thing is, let's react at a level that's reasonable for where we're at personally.
Right.
So first of all, you have to follow the law of the land, which is why right now, as we were just talking about, relationships are really important. Making sure that you connect with the ones that you love and make sure that those relationships are strong and that you're supporting each other however you can. And if that's locally, it might mean taking groceries to your parents or to your grandparents.
Right.
It might be taking care of your children within your house and making sure that they're not getting around, other people to expose them unnecessarily.
Right.
So I think that there's reasonable things that you can do, but there's also this basic knowledge of we're being inundated with all of these tips and how to protect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest tips that you'll see is about hand washing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's two really important things about hand washing that need to be said. Number one, hand washing is not going to build up your immunity. Now,
right.
Hand washing may wash the germs you have off your hands at that time if you do it right, but It's not going to keep you well.
Right.
What keeps you well is having a strong immunity all the time and knowing what to do if you do feel poorly.
Right.
Another thing about hand washing is you'll see, make sure you wash your hands after you go to the bathroom or after you come in contact with something. What you don't hear being said, which I'm going to make sure everybody that's listening knows right now, wash your hands before you use the bathroom, not just after, because you're walking into that restroom with everything that you've come in contact with.
Yes.
I don't care if it's a coronavirus or not.
Right.
You're walking in there with what you have come in contact with. And a lot of these things, including our current issues, are transmitted through the mucous membrane. And so here you're going in to use the bathroom, and if you have dirty hands, you are inoculating yourself with whatever might be on your hands. So first, wash your hands when you walk into the bathroom, then go to the bathroom, then wash your hands again.
Right.
And that way you're protecting yourself. Mm-hmm. You're not auto-inoculating yourself.
Right.
And then you're cleansing your hands for the way out, which everybody knows is just basic hygiene etiquette.
Right.
But when it comes back to immunity, just to kind of, for the listeners that don't know me, to kind of recap why I'm even sitting here right now talking to you. And you're right. I am a registered nurse, became a registered nurse in 1986, which was like the day before yesterday, right?
Of course.
And so I had a fabulous career. I was a cardiac intensive care nurse. Throughout my career, I ended up also being a nurse manager, ended up being an assistant director of nursing over a long-term care facility. And then back in the hospital setting, the whole hospital together for continuum of care, being sure that the patients get everything that they need. So when they leave the hospital, they're as well as they can be. Now, of course, for the hospital and the insurance companies, their focus is always, let's get them out of there as soon as we can within their length of stay allowed for the hospital days paid for.
Right.
But the angle that I came at it with was, let's get them well, and as well as they can be, as quickly as they can, so that they're going to go home or to the next facility they have to be discharged to in a well state, or at least as well as they can be.
Right.
So, in 1998, when I was determined to be incurably disabled from my nursing profession, and I was from the bed to the couch, pain in every system of my body, every system was malfunctioning. They said my gut was dead. They wanted to take a portion of my colon out, which I didn't let them do.
Right.
But see, I didn't know what to do to get better, because they'd already thrown all the pharmaceuticals at me that either didn't help me at all or they made me worse. And see, the medical community, and I as well, having been in it, we are and have been trained to look at a person's symptoms to see, well, what magic bullets do you need? And those magic bullets are pharmaceuticals, devices, or surgeries. And, when we have to have something like that and it's appropriate for what's going on, thank God we have emergency departments. Thank God that we have these things in place. However, there's a lot of us walking around or not walking around that have issues that are not helped by any of that. Or we see we've gotten into that system and we're continuing to get worse and worse and more dependent on more and more medications. So when I was in nursing school, having graduated in 1986, there's a term that I learned called polypharmacy, meaning how many drugs is too many drugs. And at that time, it was 10 drugs.
Wow.
Now I hear of people being on over 30, 36, something like that, medications.
Crazy.
And I'm like, my gracious.
What?
I mean, the human body and this is my worldview, at the time of creation, when our human bodies became in existence on this earth, we have the same DNA. We have the same, composure of what the human body was that came from the earth that we did way back then.
Right.
But we have to deal with more of a toxic overload now in just one day than our ancestors over 100 years ago, much less back from creation, ever had to deal with in their whole lifetime.
Jeez.
So here we are walking around unwell. Why are we so unwell?
Right.
Well, there's been this huge attack on our immune system. And what is our immune system? So I'm going to put you on the spot, Cherokee.
Okay.
So if I asked you, and if I've already told you this before, you can tell me that you've already told me and you can cheat.
All right.
But seriously, and folks that are listening, if I ask you, what is your immunity? What really is your immunity? What would you say?
I would say that I'm relatively healthy, but the immunity is the ability to fight off, sicknesses and recover from, maybe the flu or the common cold.
Okay. So what in your body enables that to happen?
Well, I have to cheat a little bit because I've been in your classes. I've watched you. I've studied under you with this. So I know that you are very committed to educating us on our gut.
Exactly.
So everything starts with the gut.
It does. And the gut is the seat of your immune system. So some folks out there, even in the medical community, will say it's white blood cells, but really it is your gut. And so, for that reason, that's why today I'm still a registered nurse, but I'm also a nutritional therapy practitioner, because I got my life back from an autoimmune illness by healing my gut and looking at my health in a whole different way.
Right.
So I look at symptoms, be they mine or someone else's, to see some answers that are strategically important. To know what of the 6 foundations of your health are out of balance.
Right.
And also what are the weaknesses that are existing in the organs and glands, be they digestive or others, weaknesses in those organs or glands that need to be strengthened. And then I help my clients through 3 different venues, being number 1, nutrition. And that includes also targeted supplementation to strengthen those weaknesses in the organs and glands, to help bring the body into balance with a good nutritional diet, for wherever that person is at.
Right.
Then also environment and lifestyle changes.
Right.
So here we are right now in a perfect dynamic that says, wow, what's my immunity right now? Because let's say I start working on my gut today. Well, there's no better time than today, but it's what you did yesterday and the day before and the day before that that's going to determine how are you doing today.
Right.
And that's why it's never too late. And now's the best time that if you have not been taking care of yourself from that viewpoint,
Right.
you can start today.
Mm-hmm.
And so, basically in my learning how to overcome an autoimmune illness, I honestly, I don't get sick.
Right.
I don't. And if I do, what I find is that it's my body exercising its natural immunity.
Right.
So if you sneeze or if you cough, I'm not talking about a persistent yucky cough.
Right.
But if you
Normal
cough,
cough.
that's just your body exercising its immune devices. It's nothing to be worried about. It's
Right.
not to get into distress because that's going to cause you more trouble than the cough or the sneeze you just had.
Right.
But it's just to know my natural immunity is getting rid of something that got in my airways. But if you really want to be sure that you're optimizing yourself, it does involve gut healing. It does involve strengthening those weaknesses in the organ and gland. And so I myself, having recovered from an autoimmune illness, have learned a lot of different ways to help different people. And the reason I point out different people is because we're all bio-individual. We're all at different places in our health. We're all at different places in where those strengths and weaknesses are and how deep they are.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot that can be done. So there's nutritional therapy. And then there's two other modalities I use in my practice. One is Kangen water machines in order to be drinking the right water that's alkalinized, which is different from alkaline water.
Right.
And the other is called Beamer. And this one's really interesting because it has a lot of health bringing properties, but it works by exposing your body to electromagnetic waves that are the same frequency that come from the earth to balance the electrical frequencies in your body, which can be interfered with because of our cell phone usage, our cell towers, computer exposure, this 5G that's coming towards everyone.
Here we go.
There's a lot of negative things going on around there. And what's important is to focus on what you can do that's positive.
Right.
Because you're not going to have any control over your exposure to 5G. Just like everything else, everybody's going to be exposed.
Right.
And we have to just do what we do have in our control. So I'm making Beamer available for treatments for people. They can buy their own unit for in-home, which is the way it's designed to be done. But also I've got offices in Gloucester and Williamsburg. So people can come in and have Beamer sessions and just need to contact me or go to my website to find out more about nutritional therapy. And, as far as that virus is concerned right now, yes, follow the rules of the road. We're, getting into social distancing and all that. But I encourage you not to do it to the point of alienating yourself or becoming depressed, because relationships are important. Wellness is not just, what you're doing, today. It's spirit, soul, and body, not just what you're doing for your body, but also what you're doing for your soul and your spirit. Staying connected to, for example, your congregation or finding a congregation online that has, services or messages that are broadcast. Making sure that you take advantage of your phone, your messaging services, Zoom, like these podcasts, to be putting positive things in your mind. Don't just be turning on that news and letting that dictate your brain. You've got to, by all means, be putting positive things that are going to renew your mind and your spirit and keep you in the positive framework, because that impacts your health, spirit, soul, and body. It has a lot to do with what you're putting into your mind.
Right. Well, I've been to some of your classes and trainings, and I love them, especially the Beamer and the way you deliver it. But a lot of people need listeners. They don't know you. So we're talking. They can't see all that stuff that you put up there and the drills. And of course, you're in Gloucester and you're in Williamsburg. But do you, and I know the answer to this, but I want the listeners to hear this. If they're not in the state of Virginia, can you help them, and how would you help them?
Yeah, absolutely. So for one thing, my nutritional therapy services are available across the country. I've got clients that are in states and in places that I've never been before, and they've never been in the same room as I have. But because of the power of the internet and the phone, I can hook up with them and irregardless of their health situation, am able to help them to get their life restored.
Right.
There's also connections with Beamer that I have all over the country if they want to try it out, or connections in different ways that we can get them to try the particular services that are of interest to them. But by all means, and that's a fabulous question. Also, like the talks that you're mentioning that you've heard me give, depending on where they're located and if they're willing, to work with me and they've got a group of people they want to share with, depending on the distance and the arrangement, of course, right now we're, kind of locked down here and there.
Yeah.
But as far as giving talks remotely on Zoom that you can put a big screen up in your organization or in your church building or whatever that case may be, I can still give talks and questions and answers, and we can set up something like that so that people can still be getting good, helpful, and healthful information that's going to be uplifting, inspiring them to help them know what they can do at that point. And then if they would decide, look, I think I need more help. I think I want to really get a hold of this problem quickly. Let's say they have autoimmune issues or symptoms in their bodies, or they know, hey, my body's out of balance and I really want to get well as quickly as I can, then they can choose to become a client if they want. But my talks give a lot of information. Yes. One of my taglines is deepening your understanding to revitalize your health. And that's where it starts.
Right.
I don't want my clients or people that I'm talking to do what I'm saying to do just because I'm saying to do it.
Right.
I want them to understand why.
Right.
Because see, they're the ones standing in front of that refrigerator or ordering off of that menu. And if they don't understand why, I'm going to be getting these texts from Mexican and Chinese restaurants and all this stuff going on.
Stop me from doing this.
It's like, okay, well, I want them to understand why and what they need for themselves so that they have that freedom of choice and they've got the power in their hands, because that's often what the medical system takes out of our hands.
Right.
Our power. And even the feeling that we have a right to choose what we do.
Oh, yeah.
But see, we do have a right. And we have a right to choose things that are going to freely make us healthy.
Yes.
And that's the power that I want people to be given back.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a moment for our sponsors to let you know who we are, who they are, and we'll be back in a moment.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right, Jill, we're back. So, like I said, a lot of people, they're trying to get healthy. You hear about the New Year's resolution, and obviously now we're in March. So the people that had those New Year's resolutions to lose weight or to get in shape or to do different things, a lot of them, it's gone out the window, and now they're waiting for 2021 to do that again. I find that out because I go to the gym and I'll see it's always crowded in January. And we have a running joke in the gym. We got to give them a few weeks. And it's a shame to say it like that, but you give them a few weeks and then you can get back on the machines and different things that you like to do, because now they've wore themselves out and they've gone back to their original life. I know that you create a lifestyle. You create a healthy lifestyle without so much medications. What I fell in love with you about is your passion and your love for healing people so they don't get hooked up on those 30, 40 medications, right? So do me a favor and do the audience a favor. Let them know, first of all, how can they get in touch with you, and what is your easiest method of communication?
Okay. So I guess the easiest thing 24/7, because I do like to sleep like other people do too. And sometimes people, sometimes other people get an epiphany in the middle of the night, but I'm sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
So I would say first go to my website, which is www.truefoundwellness.com. True, not false, found, not lost, wellness.com. So TRUEF as in Frank, OUND, wellness.com. Now there you can just get a kind of a synopsis of what I do, but you can also go to the services page and click on my package to become a nutritional therapy practitioner client. And that is only sold in a package. because I don't just give you recommendations and say, good luck, Cherokee. I hope you do well.
Right.
But I actually work with you through that journey.
Right.
Because see, during my disability, I know what it's like to have to be hunting for the answers,
Right.
not knowing. I mean, I knew how the body worked in an allopathic or a medical frame of mind, but I had to learn how the body works in a functional frame of mind, because really, and I appreciate the way you put that, because I know you have confidence in me and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But see, I don't heal anybody.
Right.
I support the body to come into balance. The body is the miracle. The
Wow.
body is the amazing thing we were given that was created to heal and repair. I just know how to bring people into balance so the
Right.
body can do the magic.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not a magic worker. However, people come to me and they're like, I'm on XYZ and this is happening and that's happening. I don't know, but can you possibly help me? Because I don't think anybody can help me. And I say, with all due respect to them, do you have a human body? And they're like, well, yeah. And I said, then you have the perfect tool to
Right.
be able to heal and repair.
Right.
So the website would be the easiest way. Also, you can text me at 804-832-5233. And if you've heard about me through this podcast, let me know, and I'll set up just a free short session in order to listen to you and for me to share with you to see if we're a good fit to actually start in that package. Because I want to be sure that you're getting the results that you need to get. And I want you to be sure that you're ready to start working with me. Because you know who I'm looking for when it comes to business?
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for people that want to be well. And I'm looking for people that are ready to make changes. Because you know what? Once people find out what they need to do, it's not rocket science.
Right.
It's just they don't know it, just like I didn't know it.
Right.
But if they're ready and they really want to be well, we can rock and roll.
Right. And you don't really believe in a lot of the traditional medications, the way they are administered. Do you believe in people needing all of that and to stay on it for the rest of their lives? Or do you believe, like you said, the body can heal itself from all these ailments, that are from diabetes to high blood pressure to even cancer, dare I say? But do you believe that?
What I have found is that the body is an amazing creation. Now, if certain agencies out there are listening, they're going to be making sure that I'm not saying particular diagnoses and particular things, because they're going to want to shake a really big, ugly finger at me. But you know what I do believe in? I do believe that we have been given the intelligence to use nutrition, lifestyle, and environment. In fact, if you look at the study, there's a scientific whole realm out there of epigenetics. Epigenetics is not very old, but it's a scientific study that has proven that if you're concerned about the genetic issues of your parents, your grandparents, let's say they had some of these diagnoses that are so scary today.
Right.
Epigenetics has proved that, yeah, if you eat and handle stress and are in the same environment as your predecessors, probably your genes are going to express themselves in a way that you'll have the same problems they did. However, if you change what you eat, you change your lifestyle, you change your environment, your genetic expression will be different.
Right.
And that means, once again, the control is in your hands. So I don't believe there's any title that any of us are necessarily confined to. Now, if you've had an issue for a long time, it's going to take longer for your body to restore. But I believe quality of life is important.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
And as much quality of life as your body can give you back based on what you're able to do in environment, lifestyle, and nutritional needs to turn around, I say we turn around all that we can.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's about, what do you want?
Right.
What do you want?
At the end of the day, you want to be happy with this life. You know,
you want to be able to play with your grandkids well up in the years.
Right.
And so I'm sure there's people that are listening to us that are younger in age, and there's people that are older. What I would say is, it's never too early to start, and it's never too late to start, because you've still got that human body, if you can hear my voice right now.
Wow. That's amazing. I tell you, I have to ask this question. I ask it to all my guests. You're so passionate. I almost don't want to ask, almost disrespectful to ask, but I have to. What, other than your ailment, what motivates you with the Beamer and tell a little bit more about why the Beamer is something that you believe in so much.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, definitely, I had that caring for people and their health way back when I became a registered nurse, or I
Right.
wouldn't have chosen to do that.
Right.
I do just naturally have a love for people, a
Mhm.
love for humans. Sometimes that gets me in trouble, but you know what? I do.
Right. It gets us all in trouble, I tell you.
I mean, I do. I have a love for humanity and I want to help them. I think, though, really because of the way that what happened to me happened with a disability,
Right.
I'm acutely aware that people have no idea what they're exposed to that's creating their problems.
Right.
And education to me is life. In fact, even as a child, I would say if I ever stop learning, I'm going to start dying.
Yes.
And it's because I knew our human bodies are so complex. The world is so complex. Not that it's difficult in its complexity necessarily, but it's so multifaceted. And because we're all so different, there's things that people just don't realize are complicating their mental health, their physical health, their spiritual health.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like if I can help somebody to get over that hump and learn something that gives them control, that means a lot to me. Yeah. And
it shows too with you. It definitely, I mean, like I said, from the day we met, the passion that you have for people, it just resonates in you. It resonates in your voice when you're talking. I get hooked on it every time. It's like, I've known you a while and it's like we've just grown so close, but it's because we see the passion. I see the passion in you, to make a difference, not just a dollar.
Mm-hmm. Well, the difference to me too, Cherokee, is I know what already in this time of my career in nutritional therapy, I already know the people whose lives have been drastically turned around that thought they were headed towards death.
Right.
And I'm not saying that lightly. That's a serious thing. And I know if I stopped doing nutritional therapy today, I would feel like I had accomplished everything I could have set out to do. But yet I know there's still people out there that don't realize that what I do is even possible.
Right.
Their minds are so entrenched in this one direction of how we're supposed to be achieving health. Mm-hmm. They don't even realize. And that's why I love to do speaking engagements.
Right.
And so also for your listeners, just like you and I have gotten to know each other in networking, business networking scenarios, but we've also heard each other present at different times.
Yes.
And I love doing presentations. I have no inhibitions about that.
They're the best.
I've got PowerPoint presentations just sitting there saying, share me. And then if somebody has a specific angle that they're interested in of health, be it, hormonal health or dealing with stress and trauma or any kind of even mental health and the neurotransmitters, autism type things, if anybody wants to understand those dynamics more and hear a PowerPoint presentation coming from a nutritional therapy perspective, I can cater these presentations to them to help bring that information right into their backyard, basically.
Right.
So if they've got, an organization or group, I do love doing that.
Okay.
And, because you're like, what's that passion? Well, my passion's getting the word out.
Right. Right. Well, one more time before we cut out of here, give the listeners the name of the company and one more time on how to reach you, the website and the phone number.
Okay. So True Found Wellness, True Not Lost. True Not False, Found Not Lost Wellness. And then, of course, the email address would be info@truefoundwellness.com. But also, if they want to text me at 804-832-5233, that's the quickest way to reach me. Mm-hmm. And you'll get the quickest response that way. Mm-hmm. And I would love to hear from you.
Jill, thank you again so much for coming on the Cherokee Inspires podcast. And I look forward to working with you, of course, and doing shows with you. But thank you on behalf of all the fans and myself included as one of your fans.
Thank you so much, Cherokee. I appreciate all of your efforts and what you're doing to inspire and really give other people highways to inspire in the area that they've been gifted in.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, that's it for us. And we're going to wrap this up. Tune in next time on the Cherokee Edwards Inspires. God bless and be safe.